Hi, this is Adam from the Sacramento office. Today I want to do a short demonstration on locating Revit files, figuring out what version of Revit you'll need to open, and deciding whether you want to save your work or if you're just opening the Revit file to view the model for your own use. So first thing we need to do is we need to locate our Revit file. There are 3 different locations currently that our Revit files can be located. It can be located on the Office drive in the Drawing folder, on the Revit Server, or on BIM 360. So first thing you need to do is you need to go to your project folder. I'm going to look for the Q Street Commons model. So I go to the Q Street project folder. I go to Drawings. Then I scroll to the bottom, and I see that we have a Revit file. It is version 19. So I need to go to Revit 19 first. You never want to double-click the Revit file in the folder because you have the chance of upgrading a model, and that could cause some issues for the project moving forward. So in Revit 19, I go to Open. Then I go to the Q Street project folder, go to Drawings, and then you don't want to double click because you have a couple options down here. Now, if you plan on making changes and saving your work to the central file for Revit, you're going to want to create a local copy. But if you're wanting to open a model and just move things around, look around, and more or less make changes to the model, and you don't want to save it, you want to detach from Central. This is going to create a file that you can do whatever you want to. You can save it somewhere else, and it'll just be your file. But if you create a new local, it's anything you save is going to save here. So first we'll open Create Local. You just click it, click Create New Local. Say open. You're going to overwrite existing copy because that's just, I've opened this file before and it's created a local copy on my C drive. If you are opening a local copy and you change something and you accidentally, or if you accidentally change something and you want to cancel it all out, close it, and just get out of it, I'll show you how to do that after this loads. So now that we've opened it, this is my local copy now. Anything I change and then save will be saved on the central file. So say you open a thing, make a change, and then if you want to save it, there's this box with a green recycle button, synchronize and modify settings. You click that once, and then you want to make sure anything that's checkable is checked, and say, OK. This is saving to the central file. But let's say you move something, you delete something, and you realize, no, I don't want to save anything I just did. I want to close this file, and I don't want anything to change. You close, and it gives you this option. Changes not saved. You have made changes to the model. Do you want to synchronize with Central? Do you want to save locally? Or do you want to do not save this project, discard any changes? You're going to say, do not save this project. And then you're also going to want to hit this relinquish all elements and work sets. That will take you completely out of the model, and you won't be stopping anyone from doing anything else in the model. So hit relinquish all elements. This is just closing the file. All your changes are not saved, so you're good to go now. But let's say you know beforehand that you just want to open a model. Maybe you want to add some dimensions to your plans. Maybe you want to see different options. So you click it once, and then you hit detach from central. Say open. And then when you get this, you want to say detach and preserve work sets. Then you just wait for it to open. Now that we've got the file open, one handy thing that Revit does is it gives you the name at the top, and when you pull it down, you'll see it says detached right here. That's kind of a fail-safe. If you open it detached, you know that this is not attached to your central file. So you can do whatever you want in this model now. You can move things around, you can delete things. I don't see why you'd want to, but you can go to your plans and see different options. But then when you close, you'll have the option to save it. You can save it somewhere on your local, maybe on your desktop as a working model that you're messing with. But I don't need to save, so I'm going to say no. All right, so the next location a model could be, we're going to look at the Revit server. I will go to a project that I currently know is on the Revit server. So you go to your project. So this is the Osei Adams roof replacement. I know that this is on the Revit server. So you go to the drawings folder, and then you'll notice there's no Revit files in this folder, but there is a document at the bottom that says project located in 2019 SAC Revit server. So I open Revit 2019. I say open. I locate somewhere over here where it says Revit Server in this icon. You click that icon, and this is our Revit server, the 172.18.150. And then you'll need to go to your office folder first. So this project's on the Sacramento projects folder. And this was the Osei Adams roof replacement project. So I'll open this folder, and then here's my Revit model. And you'll have the same options to detach from central or create a new local. For now, we'll just say create new local. And then it does say here Revit 2019. It says the version it is. If you're in 2018 and it says 2019 over here, you don't want to open it because you'll upgrade. I'll show you that next. So you say open. And I want to override existing copy of the local copy. Now that we've got a project open, it's just like if it's on the drawings folder. You make your changes, you save it, and it tells you here it's going to put it on the Revit server. It's going to save it to the central file. One thing we see often is, as a drafter, you'll open a project and notice that somebody's got something locked out that you can't work on. So if somebody's made a change, synchronized, but didn't click this, or didn't click all the checkboxes, just say OK. And then they go to close, they'll see this, relinquish elements and work sets. You're always going to want to relinquish elements because it gives people options to change things that you've changed. Or you can keep ownership of elements. You don't want to keep that because, say somebody comes to this detail, wants to change this note that you've moved, they can make no changes to this note until you relinquish your elements. So you're always going to want to say, all this should be clicked. Don't click this. It slows down your save. So say OK. And then you'll notice when I exit, it's not going to ask me to relinquish. It just closes. So let's open Revit 2018. And let's go to a project folder, a project that's on 19. And then I'll show you what it looks like if you're opening the wrong version. So I click this Q Street. Down here, this is all grayed out. Detached from central or create local copy. You can't select create local copy. That's because this is a version 19 project. You can always detach and then say open, and it'll upgrade the model. But it won't upgrade the central file. So when you say open, it says detach, and then it says saved in a later version of Revit, cannot retrieve. So this, I had it wrong. I had 18 open. So let's open a project that's in Revit 2018 in 19 so I can show you the upgrade. This project is in version 18. So here it says Revit 2018, but I know that I'm in Revit 2019. If we didn't have this little V18, you'd never know what version it is, but in 2019, I believe they added this. So you can detach from central if you wanted to upgrade, but I don't suggest upgrading unless you're just using it temporarily. Detach and preserve, and it says your model's being upgraded. I'm gonna cancel. If it'll let me. I was having trouble canceling it, so I just closed the file and didn't save anything. But we're back now. The next option for opening a Revit file is BIM 360. Not a lot of projects are using that right now, but we do have a few, so it's good to know how to open those. So I'll open a project that I know is in 2019. That's on the Revit server, or that's on the BIM 360 server. So you say open. Then at the top, you've got BIM 360. Click that once. Then it takes you to the projects you're in, or the clients folders that you're in for BIM 360. The project I'll open is our CSU Fresno project. It's in the McCarthy Builders Company's folder. You only have access to the folders that your client has given you access to. So the only thing listed on my McCarthy's Builders, CSU Fresno Student Union. And different clients organize their folders differently. So if you're starting new on a BIM 360 job, you're going to want to talk to the designer who's set up the project and been to the meetings. But for this one, it's in project folders, Miyamoto folder, and it's right here. You'll notice that you don't have the option to detach from central or create a new local copy. That's just something with BIM 360. It doesn't give the option to detach and pull it out of BIM 360. So it's just gonna automatically create a file, and then you'll be synchronizing it to the actual BIM 360. So I'm gonna say open. And this one's a little bit different. You get different windows that pop up when it's opening. So this is a different one. It's opening the model, and it just looks a little bit different than when you're opening a file from the folder, or from the project folder, or Revit server. So it's still loading. It's only at 39%. Processing, opening, existing project. So I'm going to pause the recording and start it back up when it's open. Okay, I'm back. We've got the project open, and it looks exactly like anything we'd open from our drawings folder. If you make a change and want to save it, it's the same process. You go to the synchronize modify settings and you click that, and then you want to make sure everything's clicked except for the compact. Say okay, and then this comes up. It's syncing with Central, but it looks a bit different. It's loading it onto the website on the BIM 360. So I've successfully synced. And then just like an ordinary file, I can just close when I'm done, and you're out of the file now. So those are our 3 methods currently for opening a model, for locating a model. It's on the Office drive, on the Revit server, or in BIM 360. It seems like more and more clients are using BIM 360, so we're getting used to that right now. And one thing I'm not sure if I mentioned is on our Revit server, you just won't see projects that are in a different version of Revit. So I'm in Revit 2019. I go to the SAC folder, and I see all these projects. These are all Revit 19 projects. I think Reno's got a bunch. But if you're in a different version of Revit, you won't see those files. So unless you know the version of Revit and you're looking for a file in the Revit server, it's good to go to the project folder first to make sure that you're opening the correct version. So go to Reno. They don't have anything in the 18 folder, and I don't believe SAC does either. Sacramento doesn't have anything on the 18 Revit server. So you might get a little lost if you're told something's on the Revit server and you just open the wrong version of Revit, but that's why we have it in the drawings folder. So located on 2019 SAC Revit server. I'm going to be doing more presentations on basics of Revit, including just using some of the shortcuts, dimensioning, changing framing sizes, general modeling. So this is the first of many, and thank you for listening. Thanks.